Introduction like that, you make me feel like a rock star.
You are.
Um, Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Donte Hatcher, administrative organizer for NJPJW, New Jersey Justice Prison Watch. New Jersey Justice Prison Watch, we're a coalition of organizations around the state of New Jersey with one cause: to protect, to help maintain the rules and regulations set for prisoners in the state of New Jersey, to help us have voices, to help us advocate the issues, the different issues and circumstances that we face behind those walls that nobody else gets to hear. New Jersey Justice Prison Watch is a voice for those who doesn't have a voice for themselves. Right now, well, not even now, 2018, the ICRA law was passed. Okay. We played a big part in that doing so. However, although that ICRA law was passed, which is the isolation confinement law, which places limitations on isolation confinement, sets rules and regulations on.
Wait a minute, Dante. I want you to go back to the Prison Justice Watch because I want everybody in the world to know how to get involved or how to find you and how that works.
Definitely.
I
I'm so sorry. You know me. I want to get into it, right?
know.
So you definitely can check out our website. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, NJPJW. You can also check out the website itself, New Jersey Justice Prison Watch .org. You go online, support us. You can donate to our cause as well. Check us out. Please become a part of this movement. There's so many people who are indirectly impacted by this prison system, right? And NJPJW, we are the voices of those people who want to help, who want to give a helping hand, who want to join the fight and don't know how to. Check us out, go on our websites, go on our social media, spread the word. You want to just spread the word. You want to help, you want to give a helping hand, spread the word about NJPJW, New Jersey Justice Prison Watch.org, and lend a hand, lend a voice to those who can't speak for themselves. Now, as I said, the ICRA law, the ICRA law was passed in 2018. I'm sorry.
The Isolated Confinement Act, because everybody doesn't
Yeah,
know
you're
what
right.
stuff
I was going to
is.
give I was going to give it. Okay,
Okay.
so the ICRA law, which is the Isolation Confinement Act, was passed in 2018. Again, this law was passed to set regulations and limitations on the isolation confinement within the New Jersey prison system to better help the terms and conditions of the prisoners. I am as well one of the justice impacted. I've dealt with isolation confinement, those mental health terms and conditions, those days and nights where I had nobody to give me a hand up when I was on the ground. I had nobody to tell me I had a reason to live when I wanted to end it all. I endured this. So this fight is personal for me. The ICRA law, me personally, I would want it to go away completely. However, you know, these rules and regulations were put in place to protect us, to give us the help that we needed. When we're thrown in these cells, when we're put in these 4x10 cells where nobody is there to help us, where we're not a memory in the minds of our family and friends in the world, at least that's what you think, right? Because that's how they close us off. They put us in this box and close us off to this world. Nobody can hear us cry. Nobody can hear us reaching out for a hand to help us up.
Dante,
NJPJW does.
I'm sorry, could you tell us about, I know that you guys went and did an intense survey of incarcerated
Yes.
people. Could you talk a little bit about the survey, how you created it, why, and what it produced?
So, yes. So again, I am one of the justice impacted. So the survey that we created was to directly uh hear the voices of those that were directly impacted, right? So I created this survey so we can ask the questions and get the information that's allowing us, right, to fuel our fight, to show that the ICRA law, even though put in place in 2018 to help us, is still not being followed. So on this survey, we had questions like terms and conditions, far as mental health. Where did you have access to mental health? Did you have access to family and friends? We had people reporting that they didn't even have access to their mail, either in their legal mail. You didn't have access to counsel, right? You were being put in these terms and conditions and being cut off from the world in entirety, even cut off from the prison that you're in. You have no interaction, right? So now that we face, we had the ICRA law passed in 2018, but we're still facing these terms and conditions, which this survey was conducted for, to show that although we passed the law, you're still putting these men and women in situations and term conditions that's not healthy, that's inhumane. So in 2025, years later, we're still fighting to put pressure on the DOC, on the system, to follow the rules and regulations. That's all we're asking for. We can ask for more, but we're asking for you to follow the rules and regulations. Allow us to contact our loved ones. Allow us to give those who need it the mental health services that they need, so they can have a peace of mind while they're isolated.
So Dante, when you completed the survey, you gathered the information, and where did you present it? How did you present it? What happened next?
So we presented, it took us, we started the survey, we probably built the survey in 2023. We started to build the survey. We did the work for about a year and a half, 2 years. Okay. And we did the surveys, we did in-person interviews as well. We also had parents in the interviews. But after we combined all the surveys, all the information and the interviews that we combined, we did a press release. NJPJW, actually can look it up on YouTube. It's still posted on YouTube. NJPJW did a press release, a large press release, where we released the reports of our surveys. We released all the documentation that we collected throughout 2 years, a 2-year process, stating that although the ICRA law was put in place in the state of New Jersey, none of the laws is being abided by the DOC.
So you also had a live kind of webinar press conference as
Yes,
well
that was October 1st.
with our family here at the Land Foundation. And I know it because I'm also a member of the Prison Justice Watch, that you did some video interviews as well. I don't know what are you going to do with them, or how does that look?
So right now, thank you for the segue, getting into the work that we're doing now. So that goes into the work that we're doing now. All the interviews and all the surveys and everything that was conducted, it's fueling our work forward to continue our fight. So we're taking all that information, and now we're creating a documentary, right? We're creating a short documentary. It's going to be in podcast form, where we're now coming at the world with this information. We're giving you this information live and direct. We're giving you the details. We're giving you the meat and potatoes, right? We're get all this information, these surveys, and you have this information coming from not a secondhand source. This information will be coming from those impacted directly.
Mm-hmm. So when will this blog spot or these things begin so that the public might be aware of them?
So as we speak right now, the pilot is in the works. The pilot is in the works. We're looking for the pilot to be released no later than June, with the hopes of the following episodes to follow within a 2-week interval afterwards. But no later than June, we're looking for the pilot to be released, but everything is in the works right now. We just recorded an interview with some Rutgers students. That's going to be a part of the pilot. The work is going great. Everybody is all hands on deck, and we have so many men and women. We have parents that's ready to speak out and tell a story. and to be heard.
So, what is your dream for the Prison Justice Watch? I mean, we talked about how people can find the Prison Justice Watch, NJPJW, right? But is there a way for people to actually get directly involved with
Um,
a movement, if you will?
so yes, there is. Okay. Again, as I said, there's multiple ways you can help, right? We have street teams, we have people on the ground every day ripping and running. We have you, as you said, you're a member of New Jersey Justice Prison Watch. And I don't know when the last time you got sleep because we have people working in every entity, trying to get things done. So again, you can contact us. We have again, NJPJW is a coalition of multiple organizations. If you go on our website, you have contact information for these organizations, and you can reach out to any one of us, and we can direct you in the best way that you can assist with whatever assistance that you're willing to give.
I'm wondering if you are as familiar with Second Chance as you are with ICRA, Isolated Confinement, meaning I know that the Prison Justice Watch is working very hard to enact a Second Chance legislation. Are you able to speak about any of that?
At this moment, um, I'm not able to speak about it just because, as I said, our work that we're doing now is still focused on, the ICRA law. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm one who likes to lock in and focus on
Yeah.
one thing. You know what I mean? You put too many things on your plate, you know what I mean, you don't get nothing done. So
So,
I like to lock in. So right now, while I am familiar with it, I won't speak too much on it and assume any updates or anything on our work on progress on it at this moment.
so let me just say for us, the generic kind of definition of it, right? Second chance legislation is about trying to release elderly people who are no longer a threat to society, and they've been incarcerated for decades, literally decades. There could not be any kind of personal threat, and it's a more humane way to treat human beings, if you will. So, Dante, whether it's through the Prison Justice Watch down the road or whether it's in your own personal journey, because I know you to be a warrior, Mr. Hatcher. Right? What is your dream for this movement? How do you see this movement evolving in a way that will truly make difference for the incarcerated, either inside or coming home? Because
So
let me just frame that a little bit better. When you're inside and all of this isolation from the universe completely, you kind of go nuts a little bit and you kind of like have to bring yourself back spiritually, emotionally, mentally, all of that practically. How do you see this evolving out over the future with all of this work being done and all of the challenges of it being actually useful in some ways, with because there's challenges everywhere, right? With the law, with the structures, with the prisons and all of that. How do you see this evolving?
so if I may speak candidly, right?
Yes.
This as a man who's been through the system, who's been directly impacted and still being impacted, right? I constantly look for a way for it to end, for it to cease, right? When do I get to the point in my life where this system is no longer a factor in my everyday makeup in the man that I am? When do I get to that point, right? So to speak on the Second Chance Act, I'm still looking for it.
Yeah,
Like I'm still looking for it. You understand what I'm saying? Like these
very
laws
well.
and things, no doubt, hands down. If you're gonna let these guys out, if they have the time in, they deserve it, let them out. I know hands down, I'm with that.
Mm.
However, I'm still looking for my second chance. So is that really giving us a second chance? Is that really giving us a hand up? Right? By just letting us out, because you're releasing us. Not so, if I may, right? I don't want to go too off topic, but you know me,
Come on
Cook.
now, I'll reel you in. Don't worry.
So so if I may, right? I did 15 years in prison.
Mhm.
And in retrospect, I was released into another prison.
Oh yeah, all day. Yeah.
I was released into another prison, right? I just yesterday, I'm sitting in my living room playing with my son, and my parole officer knock at my door and interrupt me playing with my son.
Yeah.
And he come in because he had a bad day, all aggressive. He got his gun brandished and everything. And my son is sitting there looking like, am I about to lose my dad again? What's going on?
Yeah, no
Never
respect.
knowing, never knowing. He don't understand that, oh, they just come in to do a checkup, or they can come over whenever they want. Mind you, he just came a week and two ago. My daughter, we had a family dinner. It was a Sunday family dinner. Food in the air, fireplace lit, the whole family there. He walking through the house, just messed the whole mood up.
Mm.
This is the life that I'm subjected to. You
So let me,
released me into another prison.
oh, yes,
So
I
when do I
got,
get my second chance?
yeah, we all got some kind of prison, but let me speak to that a little bit from a outside type of perspective, right? Or let me say it, let me see how I could say this. Um, we've all had well, many of us had very hard lives, right? And I'm one of them. And I took those horrors as lessons. And I grew up not not letting anyone get hurt around me. That wasn't going to happen. I don't care. You're not going to treat others the way I was treated, period. Right. So I took those lessons and I built tools around them. Right. I kind of had to do it myself because I was already gone from home at 13 and there was no picnic while there's a reason why I was gone from 13 out here. So I had to figure that out myself. Nobody helping me. Right. So part of what my blessing was in this movement, like about 10 years, 15 in, I became a reentry case manager over at La Casa Don Pedro. And here comes Donte Hatcher. And he spent 20 years or whatever in prison, and he's got to deprogram himself. And some of us are able to, and some of us ain't able to just get all of that behind us or take those lessons and turn them into tools and strengths that you will not let this happen to you again or whatever it is that you need, because the resources are not really there the way they're supposed to be for Donte
You're not.
to be successful out here. The housing, the jobs, all it is, the respect period, how to get the bus, all of that. So I'm asking you kind of what, how, how do you take this reality of yours, this landscape of yours, and build it into something that strengthens you? And I think that you probably did some of that by releasing yourself from isolated confinement in a way, and then you had to reprogram right there inside of that hell, right? You did it in ways in there, but to come out here is so much more intense. It's so much more difficult, and I don't know, the respect is doesn't seem to be there. There's very few places where respect is given, right? But what messages could you give not only to others coming home from prison, whether they find these reentry grassroots agencies or not, or whether they're on their own, how they could deprogram themselves, and what else, how can they deprogram them, and how can they build those lessons into tools that can help them? We know everybody can't do that, right? But what would your advice be to returning citizens, and what would your advice be to community grassroots agencies and faith-based people who so very much want to help and don't have a clue because there's no training, no funding, no resources, blah, blah, blah. But you know there's people out here that fight for you, right?
That's right.
But those are two specific questions. How could I help Donte? And how could Donte help himself turn these horrors into lessons that he can learn from.
So, so great question. And I think I can answer both questions in one, right? First and foremost, what you can do for Dante to answer your first question in this question, that's what NJPJW is. Okay, we're not just a coalition of organizations looking to, put money behind people and to, tell you a bunch of fancy word. No, 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 no. We are shoulders. We are helping hands when you're weak. Just yesterday, right? I just recently lost another job. I'm in my head. I'm going through it, right?
Yeah, man.
I'm in my head. I'm going through it, right? Even my wife, I woke up and my wife, she's getting ready for work. I go start the car for her, warm her car up, make her coffee, get her ready for work. And she said,
Oh,
"Babe, are
you're
you
a good
okay?"
man. You're a good man.
She looks at me, right, Cook, and she says, "Babe, you okay this morning? How your morning going?" I said, "Babe, I feel like I'm ready to end it all." She said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, for really. Like today is one of them days where I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to do life no more." Right? Every other day, I had those days. Nobody woke up with me but my wife.
Mm.
Around 9:30 in the morning, Prince Alvarado. Yes, I'm saying my brother name. Prince Alvarado give me a call. And he gave me a call because I forgot even what he needed.
Something.
But that
Whatever.
conversation turned into a shoulder I needed to vent to at that moment, right? That's another brother involved in the coalition. Amos Corley. I can text you at any given time of the day, night, cookie. Right? So this is what these organizations and these movements and these you people in the world who want to help, right? Those who are just as impacted, you want to help us with resources that are very limited to us, right? Sometimes all we need is a helping hand. Most of
Yeah.
the times, all we need is a listening ear, right? Because what we need from ourselves, right? Now, this is the second part of your question. What I need to do for Dante
Yeah.
is to transform this.
Yeah.
I need to transform my mindset. Like Cookie said, you deprogram. See, this process has started while I was still behind the wall. I
Absolutely.
had to deprogram the mindset, the way I walk, the way I talk, the body language, and the characteristics that went with Donte Hatcher that went to prison for 15 years. I
Yeah.
had to deprogram from that, right? And now I'm programming myself to become this renewed and transformed mind. So it starts here. And it's not an easy process, and I can't do it alone, right? That's what I got to do for me is have the understanding that this is not a fight that you can fight alone,
Yeah.
right? And then
Absolutely.
again, to full circle, that's when you guys come in,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
Me being able to do this work, me sitting here having this conversation with you, giving this webinar, giving it to the world. This does something for me, getting this off my chest. Knowing that there's somebody out there to listen to me, listen to my story, listen to my pain, that does something for me.
Mm.
So today, instead of getting up in that same mindset that I don't want to live no more, I don't want to be here, guess what? I got up and me and my wife went to Home Depot, got some sheetrock. Let's fix up the house.
Mm. Yeah.
I felt
Keep
like I had a
busy.
purpose.
Yeah.
You understand? I got up and I prepared for this to talk to my people, to talk to my family. Like,
You have to imagine how terrorizing it is for someone who loves y'all so much to hear you saying, "That's the end of this. I can't do this no more," right? And those are the things that we try so hard to support in some way to help you get through that. But this world is not ready for none of that, to do that, you know. And the mental health community, I think, is very limited in its capacity to understand the incarcerated mindset from someone who's had decades of this, right? So we we need to kind of expand this conversation every possible place we can. We need to have these conversations in faith-based spaces. We need to have these conversations in community-based spaces, even though all of these spaces right now are under direct attack. Direct attack, right? But we still have to have these conversations. And my problem with all of this is literally and simply that, okay, here's Donte. Well, you just said to me, just yesterday you lost another job. You didn't say the job, you said another job, right? So how does Donte live if he doesn't have a good woman that he makes coffee for in the morning? How does Donte live, right? So the 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 movement is one aspect of it, but the movement is also extremely individual to the person that's being affected, that has been affected, and it has to face all of this. And it's pure chaos, and the world doesn't understand that. They don't understand the chaos of cracking that gate. They don't understand the chaos of what they walked out that gate with, and they don't know how to help. They really don't. Besides,
And
okay, you get a couple of bags from this one or that one that give you some clothes and socks or whatever when you step on that parking lot, but then what? Some of you ain't got a place to go, right? So these are the kind of things that I want the world to hear, but they need to kind of like hear it from you, right?
this is like I'm sitting here crying right now. Excuse me, right?
Oh,
Because I need the world to understand how how often how often, right, it is that I'm sitting contemplating suicide, right? I need the world to understand, right, that I do this work because it gives me purpose. It gives me something to fight for because I'm scared of another man, another woman to endure what I'm enduring now. I don't want nobody to wake up and feel like they have no reason to live. Every day I walk out my house. Every day I walk out my house and I'm going somewhere to try to figure out how to maintain what I already have, how to keep it, how to keep that good woman. Because let's be honest, making coffee ain't always enough.
yeah, yeah.
How do I teach my sons? I have two sons. How do I raise them to be men? And I don't even have a fucking job. I can't, I don't get up and go to work 9 to 5. They see me when they wave, they go to school, they see where mommy at? Mommy at work. How they look at their father?
So hold on there because you are there and your
But
son needs your God. Wait a minute. Let mommy kick in.
ah,
Your son needs your guidance and your strength. And I have to tell you, I've watched you for a good year, maybe more. And I've watched you thrive. I've watched you strive and I've watched you succeed. And
it's
I want to
hard,
make
bro.
sure that you know that you got love out here. And I want you to make sure that you know that you are the vessel for one that's going through it without that good woman, without that family support, and without that roof over their head. You are their light. And that's a heavy, tall order to stand in. You are that light, and you have good people around you, and you have to fight till you get to that one sweet spot. I know that the Prison Justice Watch is your passion. I know that the movement is your passion. And I sometimes think that when I'm meeting guys like you and girls like you, that it's what you hold on to. It's like you're latched to reality and love, and support. And I want you to remember how important you are to this movement. Because I need you to get that out your head. I need you to get this giving up stuff out of your head. It sounds like you truly have a blessed woman. And it sounds like she's your strength, which means she will be your strength, bro. You just got to let this cycle, you're still in deprogramming mode. You're completely in deprogramming mode. And it takes time, but you are such a shining light, such a shining light to those behind you and around you. Because there's some that just made it to sleeping under a bridge. And you know that. You walk with them, you know where they are. please see yourself as the light that you are.
Thank you, Cook. I appreciate that. It's just, and I do. I honestly do, and it's just hard. It's just hard sometimes. It's like you find a reason to keep going. You find a purpose. You find a drive, right? And yeah, I'm there. It feel good. You know what I mean? It feels like I'm making progress, and you get knocked right back down.
Let
You
me
gotta
show
be.
you
It's
some
like you
more
back
love.
at ground zero all again.
I'm going to show you some love right here from this live webinar. You have Susie Guardia. You are educating yourself, and that is amazing. Bonnie Cornetts, Donte, stay strong for yourself, your family, and all of us who need your voice and your presence. We need you, Donte. Hugs and love, Bonnie. Susan
Thank you.
Guardia again. That is really a big deal for your kids to look up to and respect what you have survived and how you're striving to stay strong. They see you. You have to
Thank you.
know, I have 6 children and 28 grands, mister. And kids are really, really sharp. Let a mommy tell you that. They're sharp from the age of 3. They don't understand words, but they understand emotions, they understand
Yes,
spirit, they understand structure, and that's where their fabric is built, in your eyes and in your love.
that's
You're
right.
going to give them love, you're going to give them hate. Whatever you're going to give them, that's what they're going to grow up to learn. You may or may not be there. Even when you was locked, it was there. Okay? So know how important you are to not just your children, but those you love that you left behind in that incarcerated world. You are so much of a light. And I need you to start thinking that way. Not just because we're having what seems to turn into a therapy session right now.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to everyone watching, but
No,
this you know what, I'm not sorry, right? Because this just goes to show, like, this is me. Like,
yeah,
this is NJPJW. This is what we fight for. You know what I mean? These terms and conditions, these mental health issues that we go through. I'm only one man amongst millions.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So no, I'm not sorry. I'm glad you get to see this. Kind of
yeah,
embarrassed a little bit, I'm crying, but no,
no,
but this, like I said, this is real. This is us. Like, you have people that's gonna fight for you, that's gonna, pick you up and dust your knees off for you when you fall. You know what I
yes.
mean? It's not just I need everybody to understand, right? This work that's being done, this is not a 9 to 5 job.
By
Nope.
far.
No, nobody is getting uh medical coverage. You're not getting eyeglasses, dental, right? This is not a job where we go on vacation to some, like, there's no perks to this. Okay? This is something that takes sincerity. It takes heart, right? And the only payment that we get is love, smiles. We get paid with smiles and laughter, being able to hug men and women that was impacted and that we were able to help get health service or mental health service to get their medication behind them walls, right? This is where we get paid from. I need people to understand that, because this is real, and it's not about that, right? That's why we do it, because it's not about that. These are real people being impacted. These are real people like you and me, right? There's no difference.
None.
Everybody in their life made a mistake. I know
God.
you took a piece of bubble gum when you was in the store one day with your parents, because she wasn't nice on you.
No.
If you would have got caught, you would have been you would have did some time too. If you would have got, it's everybody make mistakes. Nobody in this life is perfect, right? And with that understanding comes a love and a care for humanity that is
Yeah.
like no other.
And
And
so this is part of really why the Land Foundation wanted to have this live webinar and record it so that it can be memorialized or whatever, because this kind of work has, I mean, love, support, and all of that. is worth more than any kind of money you could give me. But
Yes,
at the
it
same
is.
time, I need a roof over my head. I need food for my children. I need clothes,
Yes,
and that's the reason why the foundation really wants to continue to expose this issue and this landscape, because Donte needs to get paid for this. These grassroots organizations that are trying to struggle, they're all struggling the same way. They may not have the structure. They need help and training to get the structure of community-based type things mixed in with faith-based, attached to somebody else's funding or C3 stuff or whatever, so that the work can continue. But you need a paycheck. And it's something that seems to be turning around in the negative, that we don't need this right now. This is not important right now. So there's many in this army now that are home, that have grabbed a hold of the bull, if you will, by the horns, and they're saying, nah, we're here and we are
that's
successful
right.
and we are productive and we are contributing and we are healing our communities and yours, by the way. You know what I
That's
mean? So this is something that for resources to be absent, that's kind of criminal in itself.
it
Or
is.
or to get resources here. And it's interesting because New Jersey's seen as a leader in some ways in some of this stuff. We kind of start a lot of stuff. Bail reform, isolated confinement, COVID release, blah, 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 right? But when it comes to this, um, it's not, I lost my train of thought. Forgive me on that one. But so just let's go down this way. Um, right next door, right next door in New York, they had isolated
Yes,
confinement laws.
yes.
Right
Halt.
now, Eric Adams, a police officer kind of mind guy, said, no, you need isolated confinement, took it down, whatever. Can you speak to that, since you're like isolated confinement specific a little bit?
Yes.
What's
The,
going on there next door?
yes. Please, let's shine a light on it. And thank you for sharing it. Again, my coalition, my team is strong. We shared this document, right? That's just morning. It was sent to me. But HALT, right, is New York's ICRA, if it makes sense. But HALT law was put in place to cease isolation confinement in New York's prison system. The bill was passed. Now you have the officers going on strike. They went on strike because they want isolation confinement to come back. They're saying that isolation confinement helped them police the inmates. So they went on strike to bring this back.
Just
So they
now?
can continue to torture. Like this is insane. And this is why I want people to understand why important this fight is in the state of New Jersey, because that's right next door. If that's allowed and they get their way there, where do you think they coming next?
Oh, we're already having problems here, isolated.
Exactly.
Okay, right?
So if right next door get a win, then we take another step back down. We have to fight this, and you're fighting to protect people's humanity. You're fighting to protect people's sanity. We're not fighting the law and say, oh no, that's a human being. So what, he stole, or so what, he killed someone, let him out of jail. We're not doing that. No, that's not what we're saying. I am the reason why I did 15 years in prison. I didn't point my fingers at nobody. It's not the state of New Jersey fault. I did my crime in the state of New Jersey, and I did my time in the state of New Jersey.
Yeah.
But why am I still being held accountable and treated in all these? I got to, like, no, it's not right. Nobody is saying to let these men or women go free, but treat them like human beings. That's all we're asking. We keep I know a lot of people in the world who have animals, who dogs sleep with them in their bed. They dogs don't sleep in cages.
Right.
They
My,
eat $20, $30 cans of food. Them dog food is expensive while we're eating slop.
mm,
If your
yeah.
dog gets sick and got diarrhea, you could go to the store and get your dog a medication while I'm sitting in the cell when I can't even get Advil for a headache. This is what we're fighting for.
And that's the thing about reentry, like you've served your sentence, you maxed out, you paroled out, whatever, but you've done your time.
And I'm still
But
subject
you
to the terms and
remain
conditions.
indicted for the rest of your life because of your jacket. And these are some of the things that the movement has to evolve into. And it's just not only that, but there's such a battle now nationally with all of this craziness going on with paper straws and red, white, and blue land. I mean,
I
just,
would,
I mean, everything that we've achieved is on in jeopardy of being reversed right now.
yep,
There's never been a stronger, I can't say that. There's always been a need for us to advocate for this, but we have to get these messages across that when somebody
we
serves their
do.
time, give them a fair chance. We have second chance legislation. What about fair chance legislation where, and I'm just making this up right now, there's nothing out there, world, but fair chance legislation for people returning from incarceration so that they can become productive members of society? Or do you
That's all
really
I'm
like
asking for.
paying $75,000 for a year for Dante to sit in a prison cell without a chronic illness, without a drug addiction, without mental limitations? It's just 75,000. Imagine when he's got diabetes or a heart condition, how much the taxpayers are paying for Dante to sit in that cell versus giving him a real job that he can become a productive member of society. I think that should be where we should go. I'm just shooting in
No,
this
hey,
park.
Cook, but you right though. You right as you're talking. I'm sitting here thinking about before we went live. We was
Yeah.
just speaking about me being so busy or running around so much, not knowing when my graduation is, right?
Yeah.
I just graduated from Rutgers University with a BA in psychology. Thank you. But I also just lost a job at Wingstop
Yeah.
because my background check finally came through at Wingstop. I couldn't get a job at Wingstop as a cook.
And then blame you again.
Goodwill, they wouldn't hire me because of my record. Target, these are places that these are all the places that I've been trying to, but I just graduated with a psychology degree. I'm very well, I'm very well capable to do a lot of different jobs, but I can't even get a job at Wingstop. And it's
Yeah.
not because of my capability. I won't even say it's because of my skin color. That's not an excuse. We're not blaming that no more.
I don't know about that.
But
There's a
look,
very serious need. Wait, let me
no,
just
that's all. Listen, that's always listen. Let me. I'm
clean
saying
that
that's
up.
always going to be a factor. What I'm saying is how powerful the system is, and being once you're in the system, how it never lets you go. That's the remaining factor. You understand? Before they see my face or my skin color, that comes up. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying about that's not an excuse no more. Oh, it's because no, it's oh, he's a criminal. And then
If I
they
can,
ask you on an application, do you have were you ever convicted of a felony? You don't have to ask this if you don't want to.
no, you do. That's why they was able to fire you like that. Somebody told you wrong, right? Um, what was I gonna tell you? Oh, I forgot. The clinician stuff, the psychology stuff.
Yes,
Besides the fact of this landscape of the minuscule amount of therapists of color and counselors of color, besides the reality overall in the general population, which, by the way, the foundation has a Latino mental health policy roundtable expert report. On our website, we have a Black mental health policy roundtable expert report about the challenges for people and clinicians of color on how that is. Your particular your particular specialty of mass incarceration, I don't know if there's 10 of you that have a psychology degree. And the point of that is not only are you expert in a field that there's a wide open landscape for you. Imagine what you could do if you was back inside working with those who you know
exactly,
best. So
exactly.
I don't
But
want
do
you
you
to,
know what it takes to get back in there?
yeah, oh, no, I have no idea. No, no. But what I'm saying is, but that's part of the movement, right?
Nah,
That's
most
part
definitely.
of the work, right? And I think that we, at least at this point, we have leadership in place that have really paid attention. We don't agree with everything they do. We never do. They don't agree with everything we do. But at this particular time, until November 25th, we know who we're dealing with. And I
That's right.
have to say, they've been pretty decent when it came to COVID release and it came to all of these things that's going on over here. And they're still trying. Everything is not for everybody and whatever, whatever. But when November comes, we don't know who we're dealing with. We don't know who's going to be in place. We know who's the governor going to be, who's the underlings going to be, and the AG, the corrections, the parole, the public defense. We don't know who these new leaders are, right? So if we have relationships with the ones that are there right now, if anything is possible in these 7 months, we need to just jump back up on that horse with all these things that we lived through, losing our jobs, looking at our children and feeling, so challenged in some things and just
And
broken.
Cook, that's why this fight is so important
Yeah.
because we don't know who we have to, answer to and who we have to go to in order to get things done. But that's why I feel as though we have to come together and become even more of a force. This is why we're seeking the help of our listeners and our watchers, right? We have to become more of a force and have to come together in numbers where we can't be denied, where our voices and what we're asking for can't be denied. There are strength in numbers. There are strength in numbers, and we're asking for voices to continue to spread this message
And
because
there
we
is
don't
strength in
know. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Cook.
and there is strength in unity. You know that working summit brought us all together. So
Yes, it
all of
did.
the silos, crappy things got to stop too. If there was ever a time in our lifetimes in this generation, we're
It is
not
now.
supposed to be in different corners.
That's right.
And this is being proven to us every single day with some more craziness every single day. But just the fight of maintaining what we've achieved so far by itself is too much. All right, but we
Definitely.
have all these other things on our shoulders. And I'm sorry, and I know that you're struggling over there, but I hate to give this to you, bro, but you're built for it. Because you're showing up. You may not feel like it, but you're built for it. And the way I'm going to show you this, I'm going to send you some more love from the chat. Okay? Virginia Kerr, someone I met inside the wall in New Jersey State Prison, said ditto. All you are doing for your children and your wife are a big part of being a man, bro. You are a man and a mensch, whatever that is. I don't know. Something cool, I'm sure. I don't know what that is.
Thank you,
Bonnie,
Virginia.
listen. Don't be sorry. This is real, and this is the trauma you've experienced coming out. Every one of us needs to see and feel what returned citizens and those of us who love them experience. This takes strength. It takes love and courage to survive. Come out and give your back like you have. Come out and give back like you have. Your body is a moneymaker, buddy. Everyone gets paid. Prison staff, parole staff, everyone gets paid but you. You are the commodity. That's got to stop. Then Virginia again. BAB, ban the box, prohibits asking about your conviction history. Not exactly. Ban the box was supposed to do a lot of things, and we had a lot of those protections and enforcements inside the legislation. But when it went back and forth on the negotiation table, all of that stuff got eliminated. All of those
Yes.
protections only ask you about that when I offer you a job, not in the interview. If
Yep.
you've done 7 years, leave you alone. All of those things are gone, right? So that is still part of the problem. And what happens with the advocates, if you can experience the load of what was on our heads when we pass legislation and it's not implemented, that's a perfect example of why we had the working summit this past January. We pass all these laws and we look so shiny to the rest of the country, and yet they're not being implemented. And so what happens? The law that we passed was a shell of the legislation in the bill that so many advocates worked on, right? So what happens? The advocates don't have the energy or the resource to go back and pick all those things up off the floor and put it in the next bill, right?
That's right.
Bring back protections, bring back enforcements. If you ask Donte at the point of interview, you're going to have a problem, and those kind of things. Advocates, and that's what, because it's a labor of love, right? But so the advocate community has to somehow continue to tease out and develop the supports that we need and the resources that we need to have a human conversation, because
Most
that's what
definitely.
this is. And one of the ways I've tried to do that in my lifetime is to say, okay, you go sit in a prison cell for 12 hours, just 12 hours. Let's not say a week, but just feel that for half a second. And then come out here and tell me the same thing you said before you went in there. Take the whole breath of it in, or sit in ICRA for 5 minutes, you know? But
But you know what? Cook, I like that, and that's not even enough, honestly.
I know.
That's not even enough because you still know in the back of your mind, all right, this only experience. I got 12 hours, it's over.
Yeah,
Opposed to, I don't know if I'm gonna make it out of here.
yeah,
You
yeah. No,
understand what I'm saying?
I'll tell you that once, and it's definitely more intense for the incarcerated population, but there was a commissioner of human services about 20 years ago. His name was Bill Waldman. And what he did as a human services commissioner, he spent a day on welfare. And in that day on welfare, he became the strongest advocate for poverty and vulnerable communities there may be in New Jersey, because he spent a day on welfare. And it's just a whole human contact with the situation that you're yelling about. At least you get a taste of it. But because then here comes Donte, now sit there for 10 years. Go on back there in your head and sit there for 10 years or more, right? Those are some of the
Mhm.
things that, well, some of the things that I thought of. And so, family, and oh, there's a question here. I am surprised to hear that parole officers carry guns,
Oh
uh,
yes, and
let
tasers.
alone enter and brandish them.
Yes, right on they hip. He got the taser, he got the yellow and black taser and the gun on the same hip. Yes. Yes, they do. And they allowed to do it. They are allowed to do that. I don't care who's in my house. My grandson I had my grandson in my arms when he came in my house.
Mm. So we have about 5 minutes left, love. And the way I kind of want to close this is I kind of want to let the world know that the Latino Action Network Foundation C3 has a bigger brother, the Latino Action Network C4, which is the political arm of our umbrella, if you will. And we're having a statewide Latino Legislative Assembly this Saturday. It's free. It's in New
Saturday.
Brunswick. Public transportation available all day. We're having a criminal legal system reform panel with Public Defender Jennifer Saletti. We have Mr. Damon Sharuka Venable speaking on technical parole violations. We have Public Defender or Attorney, the Immigration Attorney for the Public Defender's Office, Susanna Volpe, speaking on immigration and how it relates to the Public Defender's Office. And we have yours truly, Crazy Lady, speaking on the Working Summit and what we just did and how we're planning to move forward. And we have Myrna Diaz, who is one of the first clemency releases from Governor Murphy's Clemency Project, facilitating our event. So that's very exciting. This legislative assembly goes into all aspects of life, housing, health, poverty, voting, all of these things. And at the end of it, on that very day, we're going to have a gubernatorial candidates forum. So if you wanted to ask a gubernatorial candidate about this and you're still there, all of this is free. 15 Seminary Place. I think we're still doing the fight. We're still fighting the fight. And we have so many things going on at the same time because our army has grown, New Jersey. Our army has grown by leaps and bounds, and still we have so far to go. So I kind of wanted to close us off with that love and to ask you to all be involved with us. please join the Integrated Justice Alliance Facebook group that I manage. You can talk there, you can put your stuff there, you can not sell carpets there or perfume, because I'm not gonna let that go. Right? But you can do that. The Latino Action Network political arm has a Facebook page too, and the Latino Action Network Foundation has a Facebook page as well. So New Jersey Prison Justice Watch has a Facebook page and a website, and we're family.
Instagram.
Do you have any parting words, Dante?
Um, yes. I'm just gonna give us a shout out again, NJPJW.org. We're on Facebook and Instagram as well. Again, please come support us. Come support us. All we're asking for is your voice. Help us spread the word. This fight continues, even after us. You heard bits and pieces of my story. Again, you can go on YouTube and you can check out the October 1st press release that we did on the ICRA report, which was disclosed after all our work for 2 years with our surveys and interviews and things with those directly impacted. Um, Again, to find out more information and all the work that we can do, and visit us at njpjw.org. Thank you guys for so much for listening and watching me cry, like and just hearing my story and being my support, because more than anything, you guys just having somebody to listen to me and being able to tell me that um I'm worth it. I got purpose, like that does so much. You know what I mean?
So
Everybody
Dante,
in the comments, all the wonderful and beautiful comments. Thank you guys so much. I love you all.
help me. Repeat after me. I am in the
I
Ubuntu proverb tradition. I am because we are.
I am because we are,
We are because I am.
and we are because I am.
I have a part to play,
I have a part to play.
good, bad, or ugly.
Good, bad, or ugly.
God bless New Jersey.
God bless you
We'll
too,
be
man. I
back.
love you all, man. I love Jersey.
Love you all. Pay attention. Share this video when it comes out.
Please share it with everybody, your friends, your family, grandchildren. Share it. Let's
God
keep the
bless.
fight
See you
alive.
Saturday on March 1st. New Brunswick.
Yes, I love you.
Love you too, babe. Take care.